Hello viewers, I'm getting ready for a trip this weekend, so it's time to give the Xterra a little love. I found a torn CV axle boot a couple weeks ago when I was putting some brake pads on. So I can't have that going on because it'll probably break when I'm out in the middle of the woods somewhere. I've been carrying around a spare CV axle with me for a few years now, so I'm just going to throw that one in. The nice thing on these Xterras is that the CV axle is the same length, so you can, if you have one, it'll fit either side. I rebuilt the front end a few years ago, and for the specific reason of thinking I might have to do this on the side of a trail somewhere, I anti-seized everything so it wouldn't fight me. So hopefully this video will go good and everything will just come right apart for me. You know, just like anybody else's how-to video, and then when you go home and try to do it yourself on your own car, you know, 3 weekends later. So, you know, I thought ahead, I'm sorry. So, I'm going to take this wheel off. I already got it jacked up. Got a stand under there for safety. So, let me get this wheel off, get some lights going, and we'll tear into this thing. So the first thing I'm going to take off is this upper control arm nut. It's a 21mm on mine, but I have a new upper control arm, so I don't know what size yours might be. Mine was a castle nut with a pin. Yours might just be like a pinch bolt or a, you know, one with the nylon. So there it goes. So this is one of the things I made sure to anti-seize was the ball joint where it goes into the steering knuckle. And we'll hit where the ball joint goes into the steering knuckle. Okay, now let's get this now that we have the upper control arm free, but you might want to put a jack under the lower control arm because I forgot that the bump stops actually up here. So when I separated that, it shot down, so you might want to put something under it. So let's take this hub off here. All these little 6mm bolts. So here's a better view of this snap ring we got to take out. It's right there. That's keeping the axle from being able to go back. So we need to get that out, popped out of our way real quick. Taking the snap ring out. Ease it out of there. Now I think, yeah, there's one more little piece we should take out of here. So let's just, we just pull this off, which it has this this washer in here that has teeth on it. So that'll probably fight us putting it back on. So we'll just leave this out for now. And then just remember, so it goes, you stick this whole thing, pops on there first. And then you put your little washer with all the little gears in it. Then your snap ring. So that's how it goes on. Not like that, but like that. So I'll put this all greasy because wheel bearings in here. Alright, so now our axle's free, can come out. So all I gotta do now is take off the bolts that hold it on to the stub shaft and the differential, and then I should be able to weasel this thing out of here. So thank God my little 3/8 impact gun had enough torque to take out those 6 bolts that hold the CV onto the axle stub there. So I got them taken out real quick. I couldn't really get a good shot in there. There's a lot going on, so I just went ahead and took those out. Now, if we can we gotta be careful we don't stretch our brake hose too tight. It's already pretty tight, just like that. We need to get, maybe I'm gonna turn the wheels to the right in the car. Okay, we'll give us a little extra room with our brake hose. Alright, so I got the CV axle behind where it mounts up. It's gonna be close, we're almost out. There it goes. Had this washer come off, so I'm gonna have to clean this washer and put it on the new axle before it goes in. Which way does it go? It's only I gotta take the shock off. Taking the shock off, the bottom of the shock off. Alright, at this point I have a jack underneath the lower control arm to keep it going down any further. So we have to undo the bottom bolt of the shock and slide it over to give us enough room to get that thing out. Alright, so I went ahead and zipped the bolts back in back there for the CV axle, and also jacked the control arm up and started the ball joint there so I could get the tension. You know, you gotta be careful you don't stretch your brake hose too much. So now we're working on this. So I gotta just put the 4-wheel drive stuff back on. So let's get this thing going first. It's got grease all over it. So you see how that side's flat and this side's got all the little teeth and everything in there. So make sure there's no dirt on it. I put mine in a safe spot so it wouldn't get dirty. So this goes on here. We clock it until it goes in all the way. And then we get our little washer with the teeth on it. Let me wipe that off a little bit. I did get a little dirt on this. Can't be putting dirt in here because this is where your wheel bearings are. Which I do have to change this one before I go too. But anywho. There. Clean enough. So we put this on. me see where, if I got, okay. The groove is still hidden, so this must not be all the way seated. So let me try ramming this forward a little further. I got that forward as far as I can. You can kind of see the second groove there. So I'm going to try to get the snap ring on, and once I get it close, I'll probably use a flat blade screwdriver and just tap around it to make sure it goes into its slot. Well, I finished it up, but I had to stop recording because I really did a number on myself here. So if you remember, when I pulled this CV out, there's a copper washer that goes here. I had this washer come off, so I'm gonna have to clean this washer and put it on the new axle before it goes in. And it fits up against this, and then you push it through. Well, on that washer, one side was flat and the other side had a bevel to it. Alright, and I put it on backwards. So if you look at this right here, it ramps up. There's a ramp right here where it goes up into this part here. Alright, so the beveled side needs to go facing this. When I put it on backwards, there was no bevel. The other side's flat, so it wasn't quite, you know, seating up against this part here, which meant I couldn't push the CV axle through further enough to get the snap ring on. I was fighting it, and then finally I realized probably what I've done, and then I had to go and take a bunch of stuff back apart, take the CV out again so I could flip that stupid washer around and put it on the right way. Then it went back together good. So just pay attention to that when you're doing it yourself, because you know, I could have been done like an hour and a half ago. So anywho, I'm glad I caught that before I had to do it on the side of a trail. I had fluid filmed this thing, which keeps it from rusting, but also means all the dirt from everywhere you've ever driven is stuck to the bottom of this car. So, you know, I got quite a bit of dirt inside there. I tried keeping it out, but, you know, I'm sure some got in. You know, it's just dirt stuck to everything under there, so, you know, it would have been worse doing it on the side of the road without a bunch of rags and stuff. So anyway, that's how you do that. It's not exactly the easiest CV axle I've ever changed in my life, so, you know, just take your time with it and don't put things on the wrong way, like round like I did. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.